Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Enthusiastically Spiritual. I'm your host, Teresa. And today I want to talk about enthusiasm because you know what? We all have that energy inside of us, but oftentimes we need help putting words to what we're feeling inside, that excitement, that energy. And my guest today is going to be able to help you with that. So, Jess Collins, also known as the Feral Writer, is a wild woman, copywriter, and soul coach. Working from her studio by the sea in Cornwall, creating courageous content for authentic brands worldwide, offering a variety of courses and resources for creative entrepreneurs alongside her signature Soul Sessions coaching for creative entrepreneurs. She has recently been named number 28 in the greatest changemakers in the UK for 2021 by The Big Issue. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. And I cannot wait to share with my listeners all the dynamic ways that they can bring what they're feeling inside, that authenticity and that excitement into their words and into their brand.
100%.
So I've been following you for a couple months, and I know recently you said on one of your posts, or maybe one of your shit chats, which I love your shit chats, is how some people follow you for a couple months and then they kind of come into, working with you. And that's what I've been doing. So
Yeah.
for a while I've been checking, you're on Instagram and you have an amazing feed and amazing insights and information. And one of the things that I want to read, what I wrote down on a little post-it note that I look at every single day is this. So you wrote, show it, tell it, share it, embrace it. Don't half-ass it. Put some heart into it. A good brand story is a lot like a good love story after all. Be bold, be bright. And Jess,
Yeah,
this just like hit me in my heart. And I said, I need to work with Jess. I need to find out more about what she's all about.
absolutely. And that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. It is about having a story that is authentic and sets you apart and isn't just another number, another, fading into the background of web content. It's about owning that space and claiming your story and sharing it.
Exactly. And you do it so brilliantly. And the way that you pull it out of people and the things that you offer, like I've done three things with you. I got the ebook converted, which is brilliant. I did
Yeah.
a week of contented, which was the keyword for myself, transformative. And then right now I'm doing your scribe 30-day journaling email course. And it is a daily email that I just love getting. And it has transformed me and really touched my soul every single day. And I'm on day 18 right now.
I am a massive advocate for journaling. When I started the scribe sessions, it wasn't about making money. I wanted to offer something that I think would literally change everyone's lives, especially during a pandemic. I think journaling is so good for our creativity, our mental health, our well-being. I think it should be available by prescription. It's so important to journal for our health.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And so, one of the things, obviously, with Enthusiastically Spiritual is the spiritual aspect of bringing that into the brand, your business, whatever you're doing. And I know that something you wrote down is you connecting to spirit is the root of all inspiration. Want to share a little bit about that with your business?
Yeah, that's so important to me. And a big part of that comes from journaling, or what I would call letters to the universe, where I really advocate writing a letter to the universe with what I need and then writing the response. And I feel like it's kind of channeled through me. And I get that a lot with my work. I feel 80% of my work probably isn't actually mine. It just comes, and I feel like I'm just a bystander. And it's about learning to tune into universal messages, I think.
Without a
You know,
doubt.
I use a lot of oracle cards in my work.
Hmm.
Even though I'm a copywriter, I draw on cards to show me the direction where I need to go. I spend a lot of time in nature. I journal, I write to the universe, I listen to the universe, I meditate. I believe in writing around the moon cycles and being aware of all that.
Beautiful. And I know you were in a big corporate job, and obviously you must have followed your heart, followed the universe spirit, and to where you're at now. So, want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, that big corporate job was actually mine. So I created that monster. It
Oh,
was I owned the first content marketing agency in the county I live in the southwest, and it it kind of grew organically, but it got out of control. So we got bigger clients and bigger clients, national clients, international clients, and there were awards, and I met royalty, and I took on more and more staff. And it was only when I had my little girl that I remember sort of stepping and looking from the outside and thinking, how did I get so far from what I love? Because I just love to write on the sand with a notebook, and I got so successful, in inverted commas, that I didn't do any of that anymore. All I did was manage a very big business, and that was the point at which I realized I needed to strip back and get some more soul into my work again.
Well, you are clearly doing that. And you obviously have clients all over the world that are coming to you and working with you, correct?
Everywhere around the world, literally, you name it. Little islands. I just wrote for someone in Mauritius. I've written for someone in Bali, in Costa Rica, and then
Wow.
obviously the US, Australia, France, everywhere. I've been so lucky to write for everywhere.
Well, and they're so lucky to have you because what I found with you is that you're very calm, but you're very authentic and you're very bold and brass. And I just love that because there's that, that groundedness to you. And obviously, living by the sea, what a spectacular place you have. I mean, you put pictures on Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is amazing.
Yeah, I'm really, really lucky. I can be on the beach in 4 minutes. In fact, by foot. After this interview today, I'm going to the beach because I'm writing poetry for a brand today.
Love it. Oh, I'm filled with chills, Jess. What a beautiful place to do that at. Well, one thing I want to talk about too is you mentioned that, when you wholeheartedly and authentically show who you are, the right people will come and find you and connect with you. And I've really noticed that lately. Like I want to really put it out there of who I really am from my heart and soul. So people can relate to me and I can find the people, my followers and the people that want to work with me, my apprentices. And you do that through your business so beautifully with clients.
Yeah, I think it's really important because I think in the modern day world, everything's so perfect and polished
Hmm.
and flawless, and there's filters, and no one wants to be really themselves not at their worst, at their truth.
Right.
But it's at that truth that you connect. And so, for example, one of my weaknesses is that I'm late for everything. I mean, I'm surprised I'm on time for this. I'm late for everything. I forget to email people. I'm not very good at the organization, but
Hmm.
I always try and own that because I think that I don't want to be. I'm not a PA, I'm
Hmm.
a creative, and I'm honest about that and show who I am and my process. I'm never afraid to show my process and what I go through and my way of creating, because I think there's magic in the truth rather than showing a perfect picture that's not really reality, which is something people these days are getting used to doing, showing themselves, the front of house rather than the authentic behind the scenes.
I totally agree with that. And also people show too much. That's what I like about what you come across with is like there's a fine line and then it's like you cross that veil and it's like, wow, I didn't really need to know that about you. Or I didn't really need to see that picture. And you really come across with understanding how to really rein that in and to bring forth what you really want to share in the world versus all the, I mean, not to share your dirt or whatever, or, to get people to understand where you've been, but there is a fine line. Don't you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And I think it's really important to know your boundaries. So, one of mine is that I don't really share my children on social media.
Right.
I will talk about the fact I'm a mother, but I don't like to have their faces on social media. And so I'm quite boundaried about that. But also, I find a lot of the posts that are out in the world now are what I've nicknamed vulnerability, which is fake vulnerability that is created to build a relationship that's not based on sincerity or authenticity. And there's a lot of that. It looks like they're sharing their story, but it's kind of commercially crafted
Right.
to sell. Yeah.
Well, and I know for myself doing spiritual work, there's obviously a lot of people in the world bringing out their authenticity and their version of spirituality. And I've noticed that a lot of it does cross that line where, maybe they're showing themselves sexually, or I mean, just interesting ways that people are bringing forth the way they want to be seen in the world. And I mean, for myself, that is not the way I want to be seen. I want to be authentic, but yet I want to be professional. And that's one
Yeah.
thing I find with what you bring forth is you're very authentic and you're very professional and you know that line and where it's at.
Yeah, I think that's so important because, you know, social media is a very strange world, and the marketing world is a very strange world. You don't really ever know who you're talking to. And so I
Right.
think that you need to bear that in mind. I mean, I've had some very strange messages, as I'm sure we all
Mhm.
have,
Yeah,
from very interesting characters.
without a
So I
doubt.
think it's about knowing your purpose on social media. So for me, I use it very much as a tool to promote my work and to build really good connections with people on a professional level.
Right, right. I love that. And so there are a lot of different ways people can work with you. Like I said, I mentioned that, I bought the ebook, which is just chock full of some great gems. The week of contented, how often do you do that?
I do that every quarter. So it runs every 3 months. The next time it runs will be early June.
Okay, early June. Okay, so that's something the listeners can look forward to. And then scribe, you can obviously do that anytime because that's also an automatic 30-day journaling. And I know you're also developing some new things too, right? I don't know if you want to talk about those secrets yet, but
Do you know what? I'm developing a new course that I started working on today that I'm going to tell you about before anybody, which is it's a course dedicated to creating your about page.
fun. Okay, that's
It's
wonderful.
about creating your authentic about page rather
Mhm.
than a sort of commercial cookie cutter one. It's about what makes your story yours and how you can put that out to the world.
Oh, that is brilliant, Jess. And so tell me if someone came to you and said, okay, I want to, find out about Jess and what does she do for me? So tell the listeners, what do you offer for the people out there as a copywriter, editor, and obviously a soul coach?
So there's a lot of options. But the main options are to either have writing done by me, so I write for people, their website or blog posts, social media content, whatever they need. Taglines, I rename businesses or name businesses. There's lots of that. That's the copywriting element. Then the soul coach element, I book 3 to 4 slots for the whole year, and it's 12 weeks intensive working one to one. And I've got one slot left for that this year. That's my soul sessions coaching. And then I have some smaller options for people that want to do DIY things. I've got the range of courses,
Mhm.
and they start at $12.99 for the ebook, and they go all the way up to, I think, Contented is my most expensive course, which is around £197. Um, but then I also have, like, I've got a copywriting course that people can buy. So if you don't want to either hire me or you can't wait for me, because I think there's a 3 or 4 month wait, then you can do my course. And it's a fraction of the price and it talks you through all the stuff you need to know for copywriting. So
And I know for myself, having taken, the obviously, well, ebook and then the scribe and then have done contented, your energy is interlaced in all of it. So I feel like, I kid you not, Jess, when I'm reading my scribe every day, I can hear your voice and I can feel your
yeah,
energy. And I mean, and I got chills as I'm saying this. So everything you offer, no matter if it's something that's on email every day or if it's a book you're reading, you are just interlaced in everything. And so you're bringing forth that beautiful energy that you have. And I myself can just feel it and it feels great.
100%. Everything is sort of backed with utmost intention, and it all starts in the journal. Everything I end up creating and releasing started from sort of meditation, universal inspiration, journaling, and then moved into something that I believe will authentically help people.
Right. And so one thing I want to ask you too is your handle is the Pharaoh writer. So please tell me a little bit about how you came up with that.
That's really, really important to me. That I'm in a world where everything's very kind of sugary and romantic and pink and fluffy. Copywriting is very, a lot of it's quite surface level.
Uh-huh.
And for me, I really wanted to add something with substance and real story. And sometimes the story's not the pretty stuff,
Hmm.
it's the gritty stuff. And I wanted to uncover that in people. So I want to be really upfront with that from the get-go. So the feral writer, I'm not the fluffy writer or the friendly writer. I'm going to ask tough questions. It's going to take courage, it's going to take candor, but at the end of the day, it will uncover your true story that connects with your customer. And it starts with being, not fluffy and a bit more authentic.
And I love that. And also the fact that, there's so many people out in the world doing, well, even, some of what you're doing and trying to help people brand and spiritual work and all other kinds of other work. But it's really, how do you stand out? And again, it's back to really finding the person that helps you stand out with how you want to come across.
Yeah, 100%. And knowing your story and owning it,
Mhm.
A lot of people look next door, especially in the world of social media. What are they doing? What hashtag should I be using? What, I'm not on Reels, all this sort of thing.
Mm.
And I feel like if you can really know yourself and honor yourself, the right people will see that light
And find you.
and find you.
And in today's world, being the worldwide net, you obviously are working with people all over the place, and it's so exciting. And I cannot wait for my listeners to connect with you. And let's talk about some ways they can connect. I know you've got your Instagram handle is at the Feral Writer, and your website is www.jesscollins.co.uk. And I'll have all these in the show notes. Is there any
Yeah,
other way to connect with you? Are those the two best ways?
those are the two best ways, because I'm really present on Instagram and I'm
You
on my
are.
website. Yeah,
Yeah, you are. Jess, it's been such a pleasure. I thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I'm going to visualize being at the beach with you and enjoying that amazing energy and seeing the water, because I can see it with the pictures you always post. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I thank you so much for coming on.